of the NFL weekend, an absolute shocker. And Joe Burrow was out there. Keep in mind, Joe Burrow, the only person not named Tom Brady to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. That's how good Joe Burrow and his Bengals teams are. But he only threw for 164 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown. It doesn't get any easier for an NFL team, particularly the Cincinnati Bengals, than facing the New England Patriots at home. At least that's what the Vegas odds makers say. The Patriots have a rookie head coach. They have a journeyman quarterback. They do not have a ton of talent offensively. They are not supposed to be a good team. Yet somehow, Shady, the Bengals still lost. T. Higgins did not play. Jamarr Chase held out the majority of camp. Should Bengals fans be nervous? How nervous should they be?
No, this is what they do. And it's weird to say that, but, like, they're a good team. They start slow. Look, last year they started 1-3. Joe Burrow came back to finish 9-8. 2022, they started out 0-2, finished 12-4. Like, I can keep going over and over, and this is what they do. They start off slow. Jamarr Chase talked about it. And then another thing is, Higgins didn't play. Your number 2 wide receiver was really, really good. And then Jamarr Chase, he's been up and down with the contract and can't. So I guess getting the gel and the bond with the offense wasn't there. I think they're a really good team. I think they lose this week to the Chiefs. But I think going forward, I think about week 4, you'll see them guys come back together and look like the old Bengals.
To Shady's point, the Bengals are 1-10 since 2019 under Zach Taylor, which is easily the worst record in the NFL in the first 2 weeks of the season. 1-10. All right. When Burrow was healthy, though, because he missed 7 games in 23, and he missed 2020 7 games as well. And 2022 and 2021. They lost in the Super Bowl, and they lost in the AFC Championship game. So a little nervous, yeah, but at the end of the day, this offense, for whatever reason, this Zach Taylor-led team, they start slow. That's who they are. Like Shady's point, we knew that going in, so I don't have any issue necessarily with that. But, man, New England played well. Like, I know this is a conversation about Cincy, but New England played really well on defense. It seemed like Cincy had no answers for their cover 2, man coverage. They were coming up. They were pressing their guys. That fumble at the end zone, huge play in the game. He would have had a touchdown.
Correct.
They only ran 51 plays, so New England sort of played bully ball, keep away.
That's why I'm not nervous, really because of that play that we just showed y'all. If not for that fumble in the end zone, which was a play after Mike Gesicki touchdown, which was overruled, Bengals would have had 7, overruled. Would have had 7 again. Great play by Kyle Duggar, forcing a fumble again. That was a takeaway, not a turnover. Offenses don't just give you the ball. You got to go take that joint away. I'm not worried, though, like Shady said, like Chase said. To some degree, this is what the Bengals do. The only reason I have slight concern is this. This is the most talent-inept roster Joe Burrow's ever had.
Thank you. Now
and what we don't talk enough about is we've only ever seen Joe Burrow with talent.
Now we talk.
In 2019 at LSU, when they went 15-0, he had Randy Moss's son, Thaddeus Moss, as tight end. You had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, first-round pick to the Chiefs at running back. You had Jamarr Chase, a top 3 pick in the NFL at wide receiver. You had Justin Jefferson, a top 3 player in the NFL at wide receiver. Top 3 player, and Jamarr Chase wasn't a top 3 pick. He was a top 5 pick. With that being said, that was college. Cut to the NFL, Joe Burrow, you got Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon just gave you 140 yards with the Houston Texans last week. You got T. Higgins, probably one of the top 5 number 2 wide receivers. You got Tyler Boyd, one of the top 5 number 3 wide receivers. You got Jamarr Chase, one of the top 5 number 1 wide receivers. So Joe Burrow's always had talent.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, Joe Mixon wasn't back there.
No, he wasn't, and he ain't
on Sunday, and he ain't gonna be.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd wasn't out there.
And he ain't gonna be.
And he ain't gonna be. On Sunday, T. Higgins wasn't out there, and he will be eventually.
He might be.
And he might be.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you should be a little nervous because this is not the same offensive roster that we're used to seeing, Jay.
You should be nervous, and I think it's time to, we got to start keeping it real for Joe Burrow. If Lamar Jackson throw that ball and his toe ain't out, it's a lot of ifs. If Jalen Hurts look down the middle of the field and read cover 2 and don't throw it and it ain't, it's a lot of ifs, but them dudes take a lot of heat. Joe Burrow has not been good, man, the last 2 years. And starting off this season, he ain't been good. He was 5-5 last year and then went out with an injury, all right? Then they went 4-3 without Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow without top elite wide receivers is average.
Ooh.
He is, but we keep no for real though. But we keep living on the Super Bowl appearance, but we don't live on other stuff for other quarterbacks. Joe Burrow's not playing good football right now. He ain't. Right? And we keep putting him up there saying he's better than Josh Allen. He's the number 2 quarterback in football. A lot of people say it. Don't look at me.
You said it?
A lot of people say it. But to be honest with you, the real is he ain't played well the last year and a half. He ain't. You just lost to the Patriots, man. Right. It's a lot of people pick the Patriots. You said the biggest spread, right? It's a lot of people pick the Patriots probably not to win one game this year. And you go out here and lose to the Patriots at home.
I lost 20 on the James.
I don't care if they fumble going in. I don't care none of that. Joe Burrow, this is the New England Patriots, and you're supposed to be the second best quarterback in football. Everybody praising that you the only one that could challenge Patrick Mahomes and all this. Well, the last year and a half, you can't. You have not been a good quarterback. And if it was any other quarterback, we wouldn't keep saying, oh, man, if this, if that, if that, if this. No, the man got to play better, and he's not. And you should be nervous, because I don't know what T. Higgins' hamstring looking like. Tyler Boyd ain't coming back. He on a different team. Joe Mixon just went crazy on the Houston Texans. He ain't coming back. Your offense really at the skill position spots is not really super athletic. It's worse than what you ever had. Now you got to go win these games. And I ain't seen that in the last year and a half for Joe Burrow. So I ain't giving him no more what-ifs. I'm nervous, and he got to show up and play some ball, man.
Where would you rank Burrow on your list of quarterbacks?
I mean, I had him at number 3 behind Josh Allen, but I ain't going to keep giving him passes. Right now, he in the middle. Right now, he hovering over the top 10. He hovering over the top 10, because I ain't going to keep putting him in front of these quarterbacks that keep winning.
Top 10? That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, here's the thing. James said it perfectly. I ain't never heard nobody say it on TV better than that. You said it perfectly.
Nice.
For me, with Burrow, certain quarterbacks are playmakers, and certain quarterbacks, their job is to get the ball into the hands of the playmaker. A coach told me one time, Hall of Fame coach said, hey, the job of a quarterback, and Chase can allude to it, get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. But if you are a playmaker, then the ball already in your hands, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. If you are a playmaker, then you ain't got to get the ball into nobody's hands because it's already in your hands. The problem with Burrow is he's not a playmaker. He gets the ball into the hands of his playmakers, so he needs playmakers. Jamarr Chase, Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, college. Jamarr Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon.
Talking a lot of noise about this guy.
I think Joe Burrow is the number 2 quarterback in football because when he does have playmakers, he gets the ball just the best of point guards, second to Patrick Mahomes. But I think Patrick Mahomes is a playmaker. So with that being said, I am a little bit nervous because, James, what if this just wasn't a bad game? What if this was a bad sign? Like, what if this is what the Bengals might look like more often than not? They'll beat the Patriots.
Y'all going to be up on the bulletin board for the Bengals locker room right now.
That's all right. As we should, because they got to play better, and it start with the quarterback.
That is exactly right. Okay. Well, speaking of playing better,
keeping it real on the show.
Oh, we getting good in the facility. Yo, when we return, the Jets had something interesting to say after their loss. Robert Saleh said he feels better about facility for this conversation. Russ, he's got a calf injury he's been dealing with, so he was a last-minute scratch before the game last week, which means Justin Fields, 11-28 as a starter, is who they are preparing to start with. Mike Tomlin said, quote, we're preparing as if Fields is going to be our quarterback. Well, we got our quarterback on this show. Honestly, it is a privilege to sit next to the man to my left. Played 14 years in the National Football League. There are few people walking the face of the earth that have more experience at the quarterback position than you, Chase. So you have the most valuable answer to this question.
I don't know, Shady Mike, because we a lot of pressure right now because we were getting into it a little bit backstage. You guys don't even want to know.
We'll get into it on camera verbally if we shall. Has Russell Wilson officially lost his starting job?
At the end of the day, I believe Russ will start eventually.
Okay, there you go.
However, I do want to make a point, and if Justin Fields continues to play Steelers' brand of football, that means not turning it over. He's 4-2 in his career when he does not turn the football over. I do think it's going to be hard to bench him, though. So it's a predicament that Mike Tomlin's in. All things are pointing to Justin Fields starting. But I went back earlier this morning with my producer, Colin, and we went and I looked at every single play on the Justin Fields film from their game in Atlanta. It wasn't great stat-wise. He had 200 yards, didn't turn it over. But I grade people how the quarterback room is graded. So, and we're going to see this right here. So Chase's grading system, I like the mugshot right there. A minus, you made a play that hurt your team. A check, you did your job, you didn't do anything great, you didn't do anything bad, you just handed the ball off, whatever. And a plus play, that's what you want, right? You put the team on your back, you are making winning plays consistently. Okay, so there were 39 total Justin Fields plays. I went in as I was Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, and I graded Justin Fields. Like, let's just go back from all this narrative and just dive into the film. Here's what I found, all right? There were 5 minuses. Okay. That's pretty good for 39 plays. A minus, plays such as bad sacks. He took 2 bad sacks. drop snaps. The first play of the game, he dropped it. That's football 101. You can't drop a snap. And some very poorly missed throws. There's only 5 in the entire game. Then I go to check plays. All right, you did your job, 25. A majority of it was 25 check plays. Here's what I was interested in, 9+ plays. You made winning plays for your team. And 5 of those 9, I know it's a lot of numbers, he rushed for 5 first downs on 3rd down. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily thinking he's going to be a weapon with his arm. He's got some growth to do. George Pickens, he had a really nice throw down the sideline to him. But if you go, it's